Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Jason Clark, and it will be my privilege and pleasure to be your Master of Ceremonies for today's event. On behalf of Wayne State University and the Department of Athletics, I want to welcome each of you to the 43rd Annual Athletic Hall of Fame celebration. Today's event is an opportunity to reflect and showcase the very best of Wayne State athletics. On behalf of the athletic department coaches and staff, it gives us great pleasure to have all of you share in this very special occasion. Now in his 6th year leading the university is the 12th president of Wayne State University, Dr. M. Roy Wilson. Additionally, President Wilson is one of 16 members of the NCAA President's Council who is charged with setting the strategic direction for the division. President Wilson.
Thank you. Good afternoon. You know, athletics means different things to different people. And I know as well as many of you, that for me it is a bit personal because I grew up with athletics. But I reached a point, and for you young people out there, this is a preview. And for those of you who are 40 years and over, you know what I'm talking about. I reached that point where my mind knew exactly what to do, but my body wouldn't do it. And so I said, okay, time to stop and do something else. Started doing cycling. And with cycling, I can still get that thrill of doing your best and maximizing whatever your body can do and feeling good about just you're always striving for your personal best. And when I cycle, I think a lot about our motto, Warrior Strong, because it's not just for athletes, but for anyone who is pushing a little bit harder, looking to improve a time by even just a fraction of a second, trying to do their very, very best, and maybe even pursue a personal best. So Warrior Strong. And I know there's a lot of Tartars out there. So even if you're a Tartar, it's okay. It embodies the same thing, the extra determination in all of us to overcome our challenges on the field, in the classroom, and in the game of life, and prepare as best we can to be the best we can be. So today's Hall of Fame inductees join a very distinguished class of Wayne State players and coaches. You've excelled on the field and in the classroom and community, and you led by example. And our current student athletes are working hard to follow in your footsteps. For example, last fall, 3/4 of our student athletes had a 3.0 or better GPA. 46 student athletes earned a 4.0 in the fall term. 182 of our student athletes earned academic all GLIAC honors last school year. And our student athletes have completed more than 71,000 community service hours over the last 7 years, more than 10,000 hours last year. Now, those stats are impressive, but I'd like to put it in a bit of context. You know, when I do my stationary bike training in the winter, I watch TV. And I was watching a series recently called Last Chance U. And for those of you who haven't watched it, it's really great. It's about 2 programs. One in Independence, Kansas. It's a junior college football program that was at the bottom of the league, and then they became at the very top by recruiting all these athletes nationally. And then the other team is Eastern Mississippi, which perennially is in the top 3 or 4 teams in the country, again, a JUCO. And they're full of student athletes, well, I should say athletes, who this is their last chance to make it. Their last chance because they've screwed up. A lot of these are Division I athletes, football players, who did something with their life that they regret. and they want a second chance. They're great athletes. But while watching this series, there's two things that will come to my mind. One was that despite how great these athletes were, how very few would actually make it out of JUCO, get Division I and Division II scholarship offers, and how even fewer would make their ultimate dream of playing in the NFL. So that's one. And then the second thing that struck me is this is their last chance. And yet, their lack of academic discipline in most of these kids. Not even going to class. I don't know what I should do in Independence, Kansas, if you're not going to class. But not even going to class. And I say this because I could not help, every time I saw this series, to think about our student athletes, their resiliency, their talent, but also the fact that they are student athletes and they put student first. So I am so proud of our student athletes, and to all the Hall of Famers, congratulations, Warrior Strong.
Here to provide a brief welcome, first on behalf of current student athletes, a representative of the football program, Mr. Deontay Nicholas. Deontay is Wayne State Student Athlete Advisory Committee President and the GLIAC Student Athlete Advisory Committee representative to the National Committee, where during the most recent NCAA convention, Deontay was named Vice President of the NCAA Division II National Student Athlete Advisory Committee. Deontay.
Thank you guys all so much. This Hall of Fame class, so special, so truly special what you guys have done. On behalf of the student athletes, we thank you so much. You've laid a foundation, set a standard for us student athletes now to reach for, to go up and grab for each and every day. When we see your pictures in the hallway, we see your pictures on the internet, you guys are something to strive for. You've set the bar so high. And let us not forget people like Michael Chan and people like Kelsey Myers now, the people who make everything happen. We thank you so much, and all the coaches and the impact you guys have had in our lives. And just want to give a quick shout out to Troy Burrell. Coming into Wayne State, I watch your highlights like every day. Just wanted to aspire to be like you and just achieve the things you've done. And now that, being here today has all come into fruition, I appreciate you and all you other Hall of Fame inductees that I don't know personally. I thank you so much in your individual sport and being at Wayne State Athletic Department. You guys are truly, truly appreciated, and we're truly grateful. Thank you.
On behalf of the athletic department and coaches and staff, I want to welcome you to this 44th annual Hall of Fame. It's quite a celebration and quite an event for all of us in the athletic department. There's a big thing in social media now. It's looking back over 10 years. And this throwback concept is you post a picture of yourself 10 years ago and then how you look today. A lot of celebrities do it because, well, after 10 years of physical work and having a personal trainer, you still look pretty good. I am destroying all my old pictures, so we're not going to do that. But today is kind of like a throwback Thursday or a fallback Friday because we get a chance to look back at some significant moments and accomplishments by our student athletes and how it magnified and improved the athletic department. I'm going to go through each one of the inductees here today to give you a little insight into them and what it took for them to get here. Troy Burrell, football. Troy was part of that great 2011 national runner-up team. They had some outstanding players. But even on a team that great, you need some exceptional players. Last year, we inducted a couple of them into the Hall of Fame. Joe Long is here and Josh Rennell. Typical teammates here to support Troy. Troy is another one of those exceptional student athletes. He holds the all-time record for receiving. He caught 187 passes and ranked second in total yards with 3,132. He received 27 touchdown passes, which also ranked him second. And his average per catch, 36.57 yards, 0.76 yards, well, that ranks fifth all time. He scored 28 touchdowns in his career. And I know somebody in the back is fact-checking me and saying, well, Rob, you just said 27, now he's got 28. What's going on? Well, back in 2010, he ran an end around against Northwood for a touchdown. Those 168 points he scored, that ranks 10th all time. Coach Winters once told me that he was so good, we would sometimes just throw the ball up and know that he would catch it. He actually made us look pretty smart. So much for game preparation. You know, people look back on that championship year and they focus on that last game. A couple of key injuries kept us from being the national champions. Certainly the cheap shot against Josh Rennell out of bounds that took him out of the game was a factor. And the questionable hit against Troy, in which he separated his shoulder, was another. But to go that far on the road and play that many games, well, that shouldn't be overlooked. In fact, in my mind, the toughest opponent we played along that string was the second game, Minnesota Duluth. They were the defending national champions and had everybody back and had bolstered the lineup. They actually took a student athlete who had been suspended for the whole year for steroid use and played him that game. It ended up costing him a whole season. But that's how much they put into winning that game and returning to the national championship. Troy Burrell was instrumental in that win. Of the 15 passes that were completed that day by Wayne State, Troy caught 11 of them. After we fell behind 3-0 early, he caught an 8-yard touchdown that put the Warriors in front to stay. And late in that second half, when we had fallen behind, when we had picked up a first down after being at a 4th and 1, the very next play, a 38-yard strike to Troy Burrell in the end zone. We carried that lead right into the final play when Anton Robinson intercepted the ball in the end zone. A 31-25 victory. That was graduation day back at the Math Eye. And in the break between the different sessions, the president, the cabinet, and the board of governors were all surrounded by a little radio listening to the game. You'd think it was a fireside chat from the 30s. It's amazing what a unifying device athletics can be. Troy Burrell was an outstanding student. All 10 semesters he was on the honor roll, and he was inducted into the Hampshire Society, football's foundation for academic success. When he ended his career, he had caught at least one pass in 38 consecutive games. Well, today, symbolically, we're throwing him one more pass. It's going towards the Hall of Fame. It's not a Hail Mary. It's not one we're throwing up there that we hope you're going to catch. No, this one is right in line, one that is well deserved. Troy, stand up.
Troy Burrell, will you please come forward? Troy's citation reads in part, Troy Burrell was a 4-year football letter winner, 2008 to 2011, A native of Port Huron, Michigan, Troy ended his career as the Wayne State career leader in receptions and finished second in school history in both receiving yards and touchdown catches. While establishing himself as one of the best receivers in the GLIAC during his sophomore and junior seasons, he really had a breakout year as a senior. In 2011, he set Wayne State single-season records for receptions and receiving yards and earned first-team All-GLIAC and All-Region honors, and was voted second-team All-America by two different organizations. Finally, and maybe something that people don't know, at that year's season-ending banquet, Troy was the recipient of the inaugural Courtney Cortez Smith Award, named in honor of his late roommate. Troy earned his degree in kinesiology, was a 4-time GLIAC All-Academic Team honoree, a 3-time COSIDA Academic All-District nominee, and finally, as Rob alluded to, after concluding his career, he received membership into the National Football Foundation Hampshire Honor Society. Rob, it gives me great pleasure to present Mr. Troy Burrell for induction into the Wayne State University Athletic Hall of Fame.
Wow, this is... Well, first of all, I have to give all glory and honor to my Heavenly Father and my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who's my rock, man, and the foundation on which I'm set. Secondly, thanks to the Wayne State University Hall of Fame Selection Committee on, such a prestigious honor, man. To think of the rich history that this university has, 100 years of athletics, to even think to be mentioned among some of these great individuals who put on for the green and gold, man, is something that's incredible. To the other recipients today, congratulations on your guys' accomplishments and your achievements. I absolutely count it an honor to be able to be up here on your guys' day as well, to share in this moment. We all know, man, that football is the ultimate team sport. And even more so, in my position as a wide receiver, I would count that probably the most dependent position on the entire field, meaning that there's really no statistics that I can accumulate without the contribution of my teammates. So whether it's, the quarterback obviously, getting us the ball, offensive line, tight ends, running backs, blocking, giving that quarterback time to get the ball downfield, my other wide receiver buddies, man, doing what they do. There's really nothing, that I could do out there on my own. And even more so, when it comes to even play calling, Coach Winters. So now, mind you, Coach, if it was up to him, he would have ran that ball 60 times a game. Easy. Favorite play, pro right 38, hand it off. And I get that. You got greats like Joique Bell, Josh Rennell. These are Hall of Famers, man. You get these guys the ball, but I'm just grateful that he allowed us to make a couple plays out there, man. So, but yeah, this award, is really just a culmination of the success that I think that we had as a program here in those 4 years. I know our record was like 35-14, which, I was able to be a part of the winningest class here at Wayne State University, that senior class. These guys were outstanding, man. And so this is really, I think, just a direct result of that team success. And when I think about even the support that I had on the field with my teammates, coaches, and whatnot, even off the field, even more so. And I count it today, yes, today is the day that, we're being honored today, but really I think it's so special that, this is the time where I get to honor those who helped me get to where I am today. And first and foremost, man, to my family, to my parents, Tyrone and Laura Burrell, my sister, Amanda, my sister, Cara, my brother, he's not here today, but these guys have always been such a support, man. The love that's always been there, and specifically to my parents, man. You raised us in a Christ-centered home. You allowed that moral compass to be set. The values that you instilled in me from a young age, have allowed to stick with me all the way through into my life now. And it means the world to me to have your guys' success and to see you guys here on this day. Extremely blessed, man. To my wife, my love, I still remember in '08, man, when I met you at that spring game, and in 2011, you were there that entire senior season with me. The support that you've had just through our time together, man, and looking at 4 years now being married, 2 kids later, it's been a whirlwind, but I'm so blessed to have you in my life, and the best is still yet to come. When it comes to my coaches, even from 5th grade flag football all the way up and through my entire Wayne State career, I have my 5th grade coach, Buddy Sutherland, is here today. A guy who kicked me off the team for a moment. Now, and mind you, and my coaches know, man, there's a little bit of an edge, a temperament that I have that I think suits me well for playing football. Basketball, I couldn't handle my temper out there, but football was a sport, man, that I was able to play. But Coach Buddy was taking no junk, and he put me off the team in 5th grade, man. Didn't matter how good I was. It was a standard that he was setting, a precedent that he was setting for that team, and I'll always remember that and think about the way in which I need to carry myself on the field, and that stay with me for a while, man. So thank you for being here. To Ed Kendall, who was my high school football coach, man, an individual who, great coach, but an even greater man. I consider him a great friend, someone who I can go to, and always has just some great wisdom, man. And I just remember the times where we would sit in your office and talk about life, man. Nothing about football, just about life. And so I've always been grateful for that. To Steve Neal, my position coach here at Wayne State, man, all 5 years. The commitment that you had for us, man, to think that, I could have my position coach, man, all 5 years. I mean, I feel like that's probably rare in this time. And you were committed to us, man, the leader of the flight squad. People try to clown us, man. Even our teammates try to clown the flight squad, but, that's what we were about, man. You led us, and every year, man, I progressed in my performance, and that was under your tutelage, man, so I thank you for that. And to Coach Winters, man, you had the vision. I remember when you came in, you sat in my living room, and you talked to me just about where the program was heading and the plan that you had set in place. The type of men that you were bringing in, high-character guys who did play with a chip on their shoulder, passion for winning, but ultimately the individuals you brought in from all over a diverse background, man. We loved playing for one another, and you went out and you found these guys. The foundation was set with you, and I'm just so grateful to have played under a man such as yourself, so thank you for that. And now to my teammates, to my boys, the brotherhood, the family. I don't even really know where to begin with you guys, because at the end of the day, the whole time here, man, what made it so special was you guys. Each and every day, it didn't matter if it was winter conditioning, if it was summer workouts, in the grind in the summertime in that heat, or waking up, walking through 3 feet of snow, just trying to get to winter condition at 5:45 in the morning. The thing that made everything so special here was playing with you guys. We had some great, when I was a young player, we had some great guys who I was able to look up to, guys like Dante Dunn, Hall of Famer, Joyke Bell, Hall of Famer. These guys laid the blueprint, and I seen these guys excel at such a level that it gave me something to shoot for. And when I think about the 2 championship teams that I played on in 2010 and 2011, the thing that those 2 teams were characterized as, man, is each and every guy who was a leader on that team or a contributor at a high level, these were selfless individuals. Guys who put the team before anything else. And that's why I think this, even in our time in those 4 years, the reason why we were so successful was because it was about the team at all times, man. And when I even think about the time in 2011, when we lost Cortez, man, who was my roommate, how Jason said, the emotion and the fire that 2011 team played with, it was something that was unmatched. And I was just talking to my wife about this morning. There were so many games. Think about it. As Cortez being my roommate and playing with him in my junior season, and then my senior season comes up, and he's no longer there. And this was a guy who, on our Saturdays, man, we would get together. We would ride over to the parking lot, walk over to the CAF, and to not have him there in that last season, man, for many of those games, my senior season, I was a wreck emotionally. Like I would be weeping in my car just even getting to the games. And a lot of my teammates wouldn't even have known that. But, I would be so depleted emotionally in that last season because of the loss of a brother, man, of a roommate, of a close friend. But what I told my wife was that even though I was so depleted emotionally, there was a fuel and a fire that was inside of me each and every game that I played with in honor of my brother Cortez. And it's something that I just found our bracelets. Josh Rennell had these bracelets made, and this is, 7-8 years ago. And I haven't had one for a few years, and when I looked for this ring, I saw that I had this band sitting in my nightstand, and what it says is, the Conqueror, number 3, our angel in the end zone. And for me, when I would see that, and we wore these throughout that whole season, when I would see this band and it said our angel in the end zone, that made me want to meet him in the end zone, man. Like, if that's where he was, that's where I wanted to be. And so, like I said, man, my time here, it was about you guys. It was about my teammates. You guys are the reason, why this whole thing, man, is special. And to see each and every one of you guys here today, man, is just an absolute honor, man. You guys could have been anywhere else, but you guys were here today, and I thank you for that. Just to everybody else who's here, I have some, really close friends who came out, other family members who are here, some coworkers, clients who I work with. Thank you guys for coming out, man, on this cold February day. Like I said, you guys could have been anywhere, but you chose to be here, so thank you. And lastly, to my children, to Jade and Josiah. You guys are my world. You smiling. And, I know that this is probably a little much for you guys, and you may not know what's, really going on, but I hope one day that you guys can look back at this and yes, definitely be motivated to go after your goals, go after your dreams, pursue the things that you love. But above all else, man, I just hope that you guys remember that the most important thing, man, in life is that you love God and you love others. Understanding that this is about people, man. Life is about people. Life is about the impact that you make on others and serving others. And so if you can get that, man, above all else, I promise you that you will live the most fulfilling and fruitful life that you can possibly live. So once again, man, thank you to everybody, and God bless.
Six phenomenal young people, 6 phenomenal careers, 6 new inductees into the Hall of Fame. But it's not about the pictures from years ago. It's not about the stories or the snippets. It isn't really even about those little facts and figures that were thrown out. This is the part that people don't get about athletics. It's a learning environment. It's an environment that tests you in ways that you're not tested anywhere else. And it prepares you for whatever comes next. It could be the president of the university. Whatever it is, you're better prepared because you've been a student athlete. It might be that your dream of being a major leaguer that others say you can't make, well, you overcome that. Where you have doubts about your physical ability to make it and keep going, you fight through that. Where people say, you've got to give me more today than you've given, well, you do that. That's what being a Wayne State student athlete about. And that's what we're celebrating today. Some people dream about success. And others get up every day and make it happen, just like the 6 you met. That's why they're champions. That's the example they set for others. Congratulations. Well deserved. Welcome home. Go Warriors.
I want to thank you all for coming over. I'm going to turn it over to our Director of Athletics, Rob Moran.
Thanks, I'd just like the inductees to come up here. the other class, 2019 class, so come on up and pull the sheet down. Don't pull the board down. Just pull the sheet down.
And then somebody reach on the other side. There you go. Just pull it right up. There you go.
Ladies first. Ladies first. Individual lady. Over. Candace.